Hey guys, Mark here at American Suspension. I'm going to show you today how to install our Fat 21 and it would also cover the Fat 23 big wheel 180 tire front tire install with our lower legs with Fat Tire kit and a Elite or from Brendan and Elite Metalworks 8-inch wide fender made for our lower legs and our cans. They do make skinnier, fat, fenders that fit for stock lower legs. This is how to install our parts with the big, nice, big, fat 8-inch wide fender. So makes the whole overall look beefier. Whatever your budget is, you can go which direction you need it to go. But first off, you're going to either need to do a 20 Fat 21 Raked Tree Kit, which is what this is. If you're doing a Fat 23, then you need to do the bolt-on neck and tree kit. That's in another video on our website and on YouTube. I've already stripped the bike down. I've got the trees pretty much mocked up. I've pre-installed the fork cans onto the lower tree. I've got the stem nut started, kind of, just snugged up. So basically I've got the bearing on the bottom into the neck, through the top bearing, top tree, put one of the two nuts on. You're going to tighten it up, just snug it up. You're going to pre-install the riser, handlebar risers, before you put them on the tree. It's much easier to do off the bike. So what we're going to do now is you're going to get if you have a socket or a wrench, I've got a wrench, you're going to tighten it up so you can see how it swings pretty loose. I'm just going to keep slowly tightening until I get a little bit of resistance. And you kind of got to hold the bottom while you do this, and the top. So you see that right there? It doesn't want to freely move. So I'm just going to back it off just an eighth a turn, so it has a little bit of movement. You want to make sure everything is clear, nothing's dragging, no cables or lines or wires, and you want it just to swing just like that, just where it comes back a little bit, just a little bit. So, and that'll be perfect for starting. So, and then we'll adjust the fall away, which is what that's called, once we get the wheel and all that on. But that's a good starting point. All right, so now what we're going to do, the oddity of this setup is the fender. The fender is too wide to fit through the legs. So there's a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to show you the way I like to do it. So I've taped up, I've got the fender, I've got both sides taped up, I've got a towel over it. Or you could, if you had a fender cover, put that on there. I don't have one. I don't want it to hit the bottom of the tree because we're going to snug it up all the way up tight, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this out of the way, and then I'm going to slide this fender up carefully between the slots like that, all the way up. And then I'm going to secure it. This one's a road glide, so I'm going to secure it around the road glide mount. Like that. So now I've got the fender all the way up. I have my wheel spacer, ABS. If you have an ABS unit, I have my ABS wheel spacer. I have all that, have my 3/8 Allen on a ratchet. I have that ready to go. Basically, that's the tools you're going to need at the moment for doing this for just getting the wheel in and the legs in. All right. So we're going to take the legs. I've taped them up, right? So we don't have any accidents, scratching up stuff. I've put 6 of the rubber bump stops on. You're going to do this with or without air ride. Doesn't matter. You have to limit the travel with the Fat 21 so that the fender won't hit. Also, same install method with a 23 wheel, regular 23. A fat 23 does not need this, so just a fat 21. So we're going to make sure you got the right side leg for the right side of the tree. We're going to carefully install it. You're going to make sure whatever cables needed to be routed between the trees are. And then we're going to get it to the upper tree. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop the top of the fork right when the front is flush. That's going to give me the most travel. So again, I'm not worried about torque, spec, or any of that right now. I'm just worried about, I want to firmly snug this up. We're kind of doing a little step by step like this so we can get the other fork installed. So I'm going to do the same process over here. So now I've got both legs. Now this is going to have air ride, so the air pistons are in there, and it kind of makes the legs, it kind of sucks them in. So if you had the normal suspension in there, your spring coilover suspension, then it would be fully extended. This is partially extended. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to rotate the leg like this, so that the brackets for the fender are on the outside. I'm going to do both on the same for both sides. All right. Now I'm going to be able to roll the wheel of it. So I've got my wheel. I've got my direction marked on my tire, which way the direction is. I don't put it in backwards. And carefully roll it in between the legs. Just like that. You may have to raise and lower, raise and lower the bike on your jack so that the tire clears the fender. So. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this back. So I'm going to rotate this back and around. But first I have to lower the bike a little bit, because this part will hit the rim. So you have to get that part below like this, and then it'll just rotate back around, just like that. All right, and then you do the same for the other side. Now I'm going to install my axle. So I need to get the wheel spacers in here. So I'm going to lower it so it lines up with the axle opening. This. Put my wheel spacer in on this side first. ABS wheel spacer on this side. First, I have my axle, I have anti-seize on the threads and on the shaft so that it doesn't lock up or bind up in the future. I'm going to get it started to where it's almost coming out this side. Then I'm going to put the spacer in over here. Kind of snug, tight fit. Then you're gonna move it around, guide the axle into. All right, I'm just gonna tap it through. I like to use this sometimes to help a little bit, guide it. Make sure 100% that you have it started with your hand. It should turn into those threads. Test it before you even start the axle into the threads. Make sure everything is clean. It goes in smoothly and easily, all right? And then make sure you have anti-seize on the threads. So I've got the axle in, I've got the threads, I got the threads started, I got a 3/8 socket. I'm just gonna snug it up for now. So I'm gonna turn it in. So it stops. And then I'm just going to snug it up. I'm going to hold the ABS line so it doesn't spin. I'm just barely snugging it up. All right, so now we've got the wheel installed. It's good stuff. So now we can, I'm going to lift the bike up a little bit. And then I'm gonna put the now I'm gonna put the fender on, and then we're just gonna reverse. So we're gonna undo the cord. You could use a rope or a big zip ties, but you see how now it's dropping down. So I'm carefully letting it drop, holding onto this. These are fender mounts. The fender goes on the outside of the brackets. Usually the brackets are on the outside. The fender wings are on the outside. So I'm gonna get it in here, make sure both sides are lined up. I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna maneuver this bungee cord out of here. I've gotta get it under here. And then I'm just going to remove it like that. All right. Now we can do the fender bolts. We don't include them. I got these at the Ace hardware store. You get them, or you can get some stainless steel ones. They're 3/4 inch, 3/8, 16. 3/4 inch, 3/8, 16 bolt. That's what you need. You're gonna Loctite them. Then we're gonna start them. just gonna hand tighten them right now. Just like that. I've got all four bolts in. And the bolts. So now I'm gonna take the tape off. Alright. We're going to tighten these bolts down. These are going to be, if you wanted to torque spec, they're going to be around 35 foot-pounds. 30 to 35 foot-pounds. A lot tight. I'm going to go till they're just barely snugged up, and I can still kind of move the fender around. Because what I want to do is, once that's in place, I want to make sure that the you know, the radius looks good. I want to make sure the tire spins inside the fender like it's supposed to. And if I have them kind of snugged up and not tight, then the fender can kind of move around still and hold in place until you go back. All right. Okay. I'll lift it up in the air. And spin the wheel. See how it spins. That's how it should be going. All the angles look good. The radiuses look good. Set this one has air ride. I'm going to take it down as far as I can. See, make sure everything clears. So that's all the way down, and then I've got plenty of room in there for clearance. Everything clears. There's plenty of clearance around the fender, so that gives it that nice look with the air ride. All right, guys. So the final thing left to do would be you're going to have a you're going to go back, you're going to tighten your bolts 35 foot-pounds. You're going to tighten your axle to 55 foot-pounds. It's going to come with an axle set screw like this that locks the axle down. You're going to red Loctite it. It goes in the bottom of the left leg, 55 foot-pounds. And then you get a little cover like this. It's directional. So it goes in one way, the thicker side goes up. And it has a little O-ring on it, and it pushes into the end of the axle and finishes it off so you don't see it. So there's no hidden, there's no exposed axle. So now I'm gonna finish the fall away like I was talking about. So I'm gonna get the wheel up all the way off the ground. And then get my wrench back out. I'm gonna. So see, I have that cable hitting. So see how it's swinging. It feels like it's swinging really easy. So what I want to do, cover my fender back up. And, this stuff, stick it in there. So you see how it's like if you let it go here, it wants to move, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to see anything slowing it down. So it's a little loose. So we're going to tighten it down a little bit at a time. and then that's a little better. So I want to push it like that, and it should want to start to come back to center, just like that. It should have no resistance, like slowing it up. Let's see if I can make that happen. See how it stopped? See how it went over and it stopped? It kind of went back, but this side, it's stopping. So we don't want that. We want it to swing. So we're going to back it off a little bit until it swings freely again. Just like that. Just like that. So now we've gone all the way down with the nut. We know we created resistance, so we know the bearings are bottomed out. And then we went in the opposite. We loosened it, so a little bit at a time until it frees it up and swings like this. You want to just grab the forks like this and just push and pull. Make sure you don't feel anything loose. Make sure all your cables and lines, you know, on this spike, the clutch line and the brake line, or the other master, as for the brake, front brake, runs through the neck, between the neck and the tree, and then the brake line runs through between the neck and the leg, and that's it. So now I'm gonna pull these bolts out. There's 2 1/2-inch bolts, one on each side, and there's 2 1/2-inch bolts on the bottom. We're gonna put blue Loctite on, and then we're gonna take these to 45 around 45 foot-pounds on these 4 bolts. 2 in the back, 2 in the front. Then we're gonna take this jam nut, we're gonna put it on and lock it down against the first nut. And then we're gonna pull this pinch bolt out of the front right here, and we're gonna put some red Loctite on it, or blue. I'm gonna use blue on one of these, and then we're gonna go to about 35 foot-pounds on that bolt. And then you're on to putting the handlebars back on, your fairing back on, and that's it. Again, if you have to change your tire, if you need a tire repair, you just reverse the process. So you're gonna undo the screws, put the bungee cord in, get it up, out of the way. You could try to do that with the fairing on. Should be able to do that. You just want to hold the fender up somehow. So it could be a rope but just hold the fender up, pull the axle out, rotate, and then you can slide the wheel out. All right? All right, guys, thanks, and thanks for using American suspension. All right, have a good one.